It's been a great run, Archiethon, and it is not over quite yet. With Deltarune Chapter 4 any%, please give a round of applause for the final run of Archiethon with Talia.
Thank you so much, Fletch. Hi, I'm Talia, and I will be playing Deltarune Chapter 4 80% Glitched. You may have seen a run of this game at SGDQ 2025, where Shay did all chapters, all bosses glitchless, but a glitched Deltarune run is just so much different. You're just gonna have to see it wait and find out. I'm joined by really one of the goats of this game, Jack.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jack. I run Deltarune and Undertale, and I've dipped my toes in the Celeste a little bit too. Yeah, so if you think you saw Chapter 4 speedrun at GDQ, we skipped like most of it with the glitches, so there's gonna be a lot of differences, but it's really cool, so I hope you all enjoy it.
Alright, without further ado, I think it's about time to start. Time starts as soon as I press this option to start the chapter, and that will be in 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so right off the bat, one of the main mechanics of Deltarune speedrunning is that I'm going to be holding Control and Shift for basically the entire run, which will automatically skip text here. One of the newer developments in the game actually is that you may notice the text skips a little bit faster than usual. I'm actually using a mod right now that ups the automaster from 15 text boxes per second to 30 text boxes per second, or once every frame pretty much. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but don't worry about it, it just makes it faster.
Yeah.
Alright, right here, I'm gonna interact with the couch to do a quote-unquote bed skip, don't ask. And I'm gonna go directly to the dark world of the chapter and skip a lot of sort of cutscene-y light world movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, every chapter is given a bed skip, though 2 of them are on couches of sorts, so bed/couch skip. You can just skip the light world sections that are not very gameplay focused.
Alright, I'm gonna do some unintuitive movement here. Jack, if you want to explain what I just did there.
Yeah, so when we enter cutscenes, sometimes we want our party to be in certain positions because it takes them time to walk into like their starting positions for the cutscenes, so there, what Talia did is get Susie closer to the right so that when the cutscene trigger activated, it took Susie less time to walk. It saved a couple frames.
Yeah, if you're attentive, you'll see a lot of instances of this happening throughout the run, and this saves just a couple seconds here, just a couple frames, sorry, here and there, but it really adds up throughout the entire run. Here, I'm gonna try to get the mysterious Roaring Knight, who we don't know the identity of, to throw the swords at me, and thank you, I didn't even have to move. That doesn't usually work like that.
Yeah, sometimes the knight is washed and completely misses you and you lose time.
Yeah, sometimes if the swords spawn on the very far right or very far left, you just can't get hit by them and you just lose time. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Alright. So far we've been pretty glitchless though. Right here though, I'm going to try to perform pretty much the main glitch of glitch runs in a little bit, which is a wrong warp. And so this is frame perfect, so there's a chance I won't get this, but if you do, if I do, you'll see me pretty much warp to the end of the next frame. Just a little bit more cutscene before that, though.
Would you like a bit of good news during this cutscene?
Of course.
Fantastic, because we have a donation from Wilson for $52.
Wow.
Wow.
Saying, sorry for eating all your wires. Can we play more games? :3C. And that gets us the upgrade to all bosses. That means that we are no longer playing any %. Thank you so much for your donation.
Oh my goodness. There we go. Got there eventually. There we go. Got good RNG here. For the Gwei fights, I want to graze to 16 PP here, which is my easiest. I totally screwed that up. Okay, let me focus here.
It's alright. you can kind of get RNG checked in this fight. There's attack where if they do, we call it double diamonds. And if you get it, it is technically possible to graze to 16, but it's quite difficult, and like 9 times out of 10, it's just plus 10 seconds, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I got good RNG there. I just flubbed the menuing, but it happens. I'm gonna try to keep the wrong warp chain up through here. There we go. So wrong warps are frame perfect at the end of every transition. If I back out of the transition at the exact right frame, I will warp to the default position of the next room. Damn, I didn't get that one. And the thing is about wrong warps is that to be able to wrong warp, you have to be in what's called wrong warp state, and you get to it by either saving and reloading or going through a cutscene room transition. But what you usually see is that if I wrong warp into a room, I keep wrong warp state into the next room. So I'm going to try to chain them towards like that. I didn't get the full wrong warp chain at the start, but good enough.
Yeah, the first one is the one that matters the most. It saves several seconds, but the next one's not really.
Alright, right here, I'm gonna try to get hit by the sort of entity that will follow me throughout the rest of this maze 3 times, I believe, to get the maze, to basically quit out this dark maze early. Which, by the way, only saves time if you spare the glaze before this maze. If you don't, and you just have a little bit too much HP for this, which is really funny. You get hit 4 times, by the way, I can't count.
So unfortunately, even if we kept wrong warp state all the way here, this cutscene takes it away. So there's not really there could be a little bit more time saved. But...
Yeah, here's everyone's favorite character from this chapter, Gerson, and because of all of your generous donations, we actually get to fight Gerson in this run. Because we're doing all bosses. It's gonna be incredible.
Thank you again, everyone, for helping us meet that incentive and all of the other awesome incentives that have been all throughout Archiethon 666.
I'm gonna take a save here because I'm left at like 1 HP from getting hit 4 times at that maze. Oh, by the way, in case you missed it the first time, I can just walk under this encounter. It's really funny.
That's the best encounter skip in the run.
There's
You got another Susie tech here.
There's not a lot happening for the next couple of minutes though, so I'll pass it over to you, Fletch.
Absolutely, thank you. And thank you to Elite Spud for your raid. Those just tuning in, you are watching the final game, this bonus game, here for Archiethon 666, benefiting Point of Pride. There may not be any runs after this one, but we do still have an open bid war. At the end of this Chapter 4, we have the option to hug the GOAT, and I do mean literally the GOAT, Rousey. So far, we have $3 in favor of hugging the GOAT, but if you're in favor of saving time, we don't want to give that hug. So when you put in a donation to Point of Pride, you can select maybe save the frames instead of hug the GOAT. As always, you can put an exclamation point donate in chat for that link.
If I may comment on that bid war, I know usually people like to do the nice option, you know, we like hugging the GOAT, it feels good, but this event is literally healthy, so if there was any event to pick the evil, twisted, messed up option in the bid war, it would be this one.
That's so
That is a very strong point.
Also, it's way faster. So
Wow, I got 2 double fireballs. This is so lucky.
bang. I'm blessed.
What? I swear I got that
no.
right. Okay. It is how it is. When you're going that fast, you just mess up sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright. Coming up here is pretty much baby's first encounter skip in the next room here. What I'm gonna do is, as soon as I get to the room, I'm gonna basically aggro the book enemy here. And then I'm gonna leave the screen and then go back. Easy as that.
Bang.
Bang!
Love to see that. So yeah, normally we are holding down control and shift for the entire run, but we have to temporarily take them off for that piano because they will kick you out of the piano if you have them held. That was really fast.
Thank you.
The
The pianos in this chapter are surprisingly high skill ceiling.
yeah.
Alright, coming up here is my personal favorite boss in this chapter. It's Jackenstein, not to be confused with
It's
Jack,
me.
who is in commentary. Yeah, so this is going to be the first instance of the Dark TP gimmick in this chapter, which means that you won't get as much TP through normal means, like raising or defending, but you will... The main way of getting TP would be through doing a sort of gimmick in each attack, and for this one it would be pretty much getting the little TP bits throughout every maze. And if Deltarune was mostly a menuing speedrun, this would be the one part that's parkour. This really plays like a platformer speedrun, essentially.
Yeah,
And that's
it is pretty much world's hardest game if you've ever played that Flash game. Very similar.
Yeah, it's also made faster by utilizing Scaredy Cat. If you want to explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so Scary Cat lowers your defense, I believe, but it makes you zoom, and it also speeds up all of Jack and Stein's animations. So pretty much a no-brainer for speedrunners, but it does make the fight very hard. And for a while, this was like the biggest reset point for most runners, but at the point we're at now, it's impressively fast.
Yeah, the entirety of this fight has been labbed out to absolute hell, and it is so cool to see it all come together. At least in my humble opinion.
For sure.
I'm gonna be quiet and try to walk in a little bit here, so Fletch, if you want to do what you do best.
You got it. There are many things I do best, but in this case, it is certainly talking. We got $10 in from Elite Spud saying, hug that goat. That, as you might guess, is going toward the hug the goat option in the bid war. But we also got a $7.27 donation from Aviary towards Save the Frames saying WYSI, which I'm told is when you see it. You may notice we also have opened up a completely legitimate milestone for 7,027 and sorry, numbers are very hard. $7,277.27, a when you see it milestone. We are not that far off from that. I think we might be able to hit that. We may even be able to hit 200 total donations for Archiethon because we already have 189. Just 11 more before this run and we can get there.
Alright, gonna give something called the YZA cycle here. Shouts to YZA who found
Shout
this.
out YZA.
One of the big livers of this chapter and this game in general.
Yeah, a few moments where we can kind of like magnet hands the pellets through walls.
Should be the final maze here.
Yeah, so who gets hit here is actually RNG, and you do not want Chris to get hit because Chris is the one who lets you do Scaredy Cat. So thankfully we had Chris at basically full HP for the entire fight. So.
And this is the final unleash phase of the fight. The first time I played this fight in my casual playthrough, I just refused to believe this was real.
It's kind of insane. It comes out of nowhere.
Alright, so coming up here, we're actually going to get the climbing gloves, which don't actually do anything as an item, they just enable you to climb. And climbing in this game is actually pretty technical, and it's going to be a major part of the rest of pretty much the speedrun. So most of the time, when we have long sections of climbing, we will want to do a double charge, but if you have shorter segments of climbing, it's actually faster to spam single charges instead of, just going there normally. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see very shortly, because it's coming up right after this cutscene.
Yep. Climbing another whole new facet of gameplay added to Deltarune with the new chapters. It's kind of insane.
I love it. It's also really high skill ceiling. This chapter is just really cool in the speedrun.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, one of the big benefits of 30 text boxes, the mod we recently allowed, is most of the cutscenes are a lot shorter. So things like this used to just be a little bit longer.
Alright, gonna talk to Jackenstein in a moment and actually get the climbing gloves, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Gotta make sure to select the right option to not lose like 20 seconds.
Unfortunately, you won't see Jackenstein's real face.
Unlucky. If you want to see Jackenstein's real face, you might just have to play the game.
Lucky.
And this is what I mean. I'm gonna mostly do these double charges unless it passes through these single charges, which it wasn't there, I'm just demonstrating. Alright. Normally I would go straight down here, but because this is all bosses, I have to go up here and do a little detour to do this sort of piano code.
Yep. So, I guess...
Nice.
Bang. We never really mentioned it, but all these piano codes are like hidden codes that you find while exploring the world, but thankfully we can just input them if we know them by playing the game before, so we skip like a lot of this chapter just from having that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for this one specifically, you kind of have to go all over the place to find it, but I already know it. So that's nice. Alright. Coming up here, I get wrong warp state from these timing transitions, so I'm going to try to do the longest wrong warp chain in the game. If I can do the first one, there we go. No, I'm going for it again. I'm trying again. Alright, I forgot that's blocked. It like opens
That's where
up
you can go up
after
there.
like
Yeah,
I reload to get wrong warp state back. Give it
Yeah,
one more try.
this wrong warp chain is really brutal. I actually did some runs today and reset to this for like hours, so it's rough.
Newsflash, it's hard to hit 11 frame perfects in a row.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's pretty punishing, and a lot of these wrong warps don't even save time, as you can see. It's just being able to have wrong warp state for the ones that do.
Go for a pretty tight cycle at the end here.
Yeah, climbing, as you can see, gets a lot more complicated. It's not just straight lines, there's cycles and paths and all that kind of stuff.
There we go. The first possible cycle. Let's go. So here I actually take the intended path directly through the end of the room. I got an item right there at the chest, which is the attention gem, which will help Lost later.
Yep. So we'll get to it later, but with the tension gimmick, having items that give you tension for free is really good.
Ah, I missed it. Oh well.
Oh well.
This is how most attempts will go.
This is a really funny room coming up. There's these Mizzle enemies, and these are actually based on like your computer's clock for their cycles, so they're pretty unpredictable, but it turns out if you practice enough, there's sort of you can recognize where every Mizzle is going to be based on the location of just one, so some pretty cool routes you could do there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a couple more minutes for donations, so I want to hear how we're doing with the Hug versus Save the Frames incentive.
Excellent. That is exactly what I was thinking. We have that bid war for Hugging Rousey. Right now, Hug the Goat is at $13, just a little bit ahead of Save the Frames at $7.27. So it would be very, very easy to upset that balance and maybe make the speedrun go a little faster, you know, as speedruns are intended. And reminder, we are only, let me refresh and double check here.
Oh man, I called Gaster. Okay.
Classic.
Classic. I actually did
There
get the
you go.
piano sheet before doing that.
It
That's
was
awesome.
like one frame before you. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so normally we would actually interact with the piano there to basically activate a big cutscene that progresses the story, but somehow by interacting with the piano sheet in our inventory, we can just skip that entire thing, and the door that opens normally after you do the piano cutscene just open now. But that doesn't matter right now because now it's time for Gerson.
Yep. Very cool fight.
Made possible only by your donations. Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all so much. This might be my favorite fight in Deltarune so far, so thank you for letting us showcase it here. But while Gerson does his talking before the fight, there's maybe some more time for donations.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was giving that update, we actually got another donation in that's upset the balance. We have $17 from Aviary saying, the vicarious experience of watching Talia play faster by fractions of a second releases far more serotonin than one measly goat boy ever could. Save the frames.
That's a nice way to put it. Thank you.
And with that, Save the Frames has taken the lead at $24.27 above Hug the Goat, but it's still pretty close. So if you want to make sure that Goat Boy gets some love for once in his life, make sure to !donate in chat.
So you notice I got hit at that first attack here. This activates the state where you see Gerson actually give us the first attack again, and this is the fastest attack in the fight, so I'll take it. There is a strategy to finish the fight off without this in 14 turns, which is a lot harder, but it's only like 3 seconds faster because of just how fast the first attack is.
Yeah. So that mechanic where if you get hit on the first attack or repeats actually exists in Undertale with Undyne too. So it's actually kind of a reference.
Yeah, we actually call it Kindergarten Gerson to kind of reference that. Pretty cool.
An Undertale reference in Deltarune?
Yeah,
No
related.
Would never. So if you want to talk about this fight a little bit more, Jack.
Yeah, so the way this fight works is Gerson's spare condition, I guess you could call it, is you need 84 of what are called stars. You can see them come up from his head at the end of each action. So attacking gives you like 24 TP and also 4 stars. And doing the OK heal, which is the other action we're gonna be doing, gives 9. So we're gonna want to be OK healing as much as possible by grazing as much as possible, and that's gonna let us end the fight in 15 turns. That's pretty much all there is to it.
You can also gain stars through Root Bustering, which is much slower than OK healing, so I'm going to try to just OK heal as my main way to get stars here. There we go. Nice!
Yeah, it is a shame that Root Bustering is slow because it's kind of cinema hitting it back and forth, but we can always have our way.
I love this track a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I've heard that this franchise has some really good music. If anyone wants to tell us about your favorite track from this game, you can always toss in a donation, and I will happily read it aloud.
Heck yeah.
Lots to choose from.
Jack, what is your favorite track in Deltarune so far?
That's really tough. I really like Black Knife, the Knight's boss fight. And I also really like TV World.
Good answer. You know, I'm an old school runner. I love the world revolving. I think it's so hype.
I have a confession to make. I have actually not played Deltarune or Undertale, which means the only track I know by name is Megalomania. So please, now is a great time to tell me how illegal it is for that to be my only and therefore has to be favorite track. Toss in a donation.
Alright.
Update my opinions.
So I actually already have enough TP to end the fight, but I'm gonna read the stack for the fans.
For the
For the
fans.
fans. Alright. So this should be the last move I do, and this will be the last attack Gerson does before the fight is over.
Yeah, dang. So yeah, while grazing didn't give extra TP there, it actually does save time in green sulf or in red sulf phases to graze. Little easy bits.
Alright, and that's the Gerson fight.
GG, clean.
Well done. Again, thank you, folks. We would not have fought the Hammer of Justice here without your donations to Point of Pride.
So, by defeating Gerson, you get to the Hammer of Justice, and this item is really nice in this chapter in particular because the final boss fight is like orders of magnitude easier with it.
Yeah, so the optimal strat in that fight is to basically do a lot of fights, which
Yeah.
sounds obvious, but it's actually the only fight in the game where you actually fight with the character. It's pretty funny. But yeah, it's just a lot more lenient with the Hammer of Justice, or the Justice Axe, excuse me. Yeah, you'll see why.
Mhm.
I
Justice.
make sure to equip it, and I'll actually take a safety save right here, just in case.
And yeah, we skip a lot by interacting with the sheet music, not just the piano cutscene, but also a little cutscene there where Gerson says goodbye and gives Susie the letter. So Susie just spawns in the letter in the light world, I guess.
Yeah, it actually saves so much time. It used to be banned purely because we didn't know if it was just a debug thing that was left in the game that was gonna get patched eventually, but never ended up getting patched, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
One of the major climbing sections of the game is coming up here, where we're gonna be running away, basically dodging the Roaring Knights as we are climbing up this wall. And while we're doing that, I would love to hear some favorite soundtracks from donations.
Yeah, first I wanted to shout out, we are at my current count at 190 total individual donations gathered during this Archiethon. So just 10 more, we can hit that sweet, sweet 200. It looks like we have at least 50 folks in chat, so I really think that by the time this run ends, we can get 10 donations. If you think we can make that happen, chat, make sure to get an exclamation point donate in chat, or go up to the pinned link to donate to Archiethon and help out Point of Pride.
So basically try to avoid hitting it as much there so I can tank the rest of this sort of phase. And should be good. 1 HP, not even close.
Not even close.
Beautiful.
Lots of cutscenes coming up here, so you can keep going, Clutch.
Yeah, you got it. Then I will read off this $14.27 anonymous donation that says "Attack of the Killer Queen," which I have to imagine is a track from this game.
Yes,
franchise.
That's a
that
really
one's a
good
classic.
choice.
That's up there for me too.
The current status of that bid war remains that Save the Frames is in the lead. So right now, this goat
Yes.
is not going to get any affection unless that changes. And that was donation number 191, just 9 to go, and we will eclipse 200.
Heck
Dang, I
yeah.
believe.
Alright, that was a really funny wrong rip. That doesn't save any time, but you got wrong rip saved there, so might as well. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Just
Makes
go all
half
over
the
the
screen go
place.
dark. You're not in the right spot. You teleport up. Love it. So yeah, we're gonna go back to the light world momentarily. Gonna go through a cutscene, and then we're gonna go to the second dark world, and we're definitely gonna play all of it.
Yep, exactly. But
I believe you.
Unfortunately, your belief is misplaced because we're actually going to do the biggest skip in the run.
No.
In the entire, not in the entire game, but it's the second biggest skip in the entire game, I think, in terms of time saved.
Yeah, just about. I think it's about like 9 minutes total, something ridiculous like that. So right after this cutscene, I'm gonna start chaining wrong rips again, but these are gonna be buffered wrong rips as opposed to normal wrong rips, which I don't know exactly how they work, but they're much easier because you don't have to do the 1 frame to actually wrong rip here. So I'm gonna do 1 here, and you'll see I got it because I spawned right in the middle of this room.
Yay.
So after Susie creates this fountain, I'm going to do another buffered wrong warp and then just 1 more wrong warp, which, if I do it correctly, will just initiate the cutscene to end the second sanctuary. And it's really funny, and I'm really glad because, frankly, second sanctuary is kind of boring.
Yeah, it's cinema. Don't get me wrong, but speedrunners aren't concerned with the lion does not concern himself with the cinema.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you also get to skip an encounter in Second Sanctuary, which is basically just an auto-scroll, and it is not a boss. It's not a boss, it's just an encounter. If anything, it's a mini boss, but it should not be included in all bosses. Thank you.
Yep, preach. Even though the patch notes called it a boss. We're just gonna not listen.
Let's go.
And bang.
And that's
Lightning
the end of Second
strike.
Sanctuary.
Wow, that was a really cool section.
Wow.
So much character development.
Some more cutscenes here.
Oh, it's that goat that we may or may not hug. Currently, we still have that little bit of a lead on saving the frames, but let's see, some math. That's only $11.27 in the lead. That's a pretty small donation. 1 or 2 donations will almost certainly tip the scales and get that goat a little bit of a warm embrace.
I'm kind of starting to feel bad for him. Maybe we should hug him.
Maybe we should hug the goat. Plus, we're just 9 donations away from that sweet 200.
Alright, gonna try to keep chaining wrong warps throughout here just to get like a tiny bit of time to save at the end of the room here. Oh, something I also didn't comment on is that whenever you see stairs in this chapter, I'm going to try to bonk at the beginning so I can build up sprint speed by the end of the stairs, and saves a lot more time than you actually think.
Yeah, like those 2 building speed save like 2 seconds in this room. It's ridiculous. Stairs are like Deltarune Runner's greatest enemy. There's like 1 good staircase in the entire game.
Let's go. Got that little time save there.
Dang.
Basically just skip some minor cutscene so we don't get to hear Rousey talk, so if we feel bad, you should donate to hug Rousey at the end of the run.
True.
That's a good point. You can do that with an exclamation point donate in chat to grab the link.
All right, right here we're gonna go into third sanctuary, which is actually gonna be a part of the game that we play. There's no big skip in this one,
Yeah,
and it's gonna have
a
a
little bit.
lot happening. Pretty much a lot of camera skips, some long works at the beginning. So I'm gonna try to do one wrong work for this door, and it's so inconsistent. I kind of hate it, but it saves like 8 seconds or something stupid.
It's a big one.
Whoops, baited. Actually, I have to pose before we do this.
Yeah,
There we
of
go.
course.
Nice.
Bang. And the music doesn't play if you wrong warp into the room, but don't worry, it plays now.
All right, gonna try to really get this counter skip here.
If anyone's a fan of odd time signatures, I'm pretty sure this is that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I hear that happens a lot in this franchise.
Yeah. Toby Fox is a goofy composer in the best way possible. So we got these big wide rooms, lots of diagonal movement, very fun. And then
One more counter skip here. I'm pretty much just gonna bump the top of this wall here, and that should line me up perfectly. Jack, I think you found that. Thank you.
yeah, it was like a day one thing, but yeah. So, what the heck was that trip at the beginning of the room? That's the animation that plays when you die in this room, which I don't think anyone has ever done. But for some reason, when you do the part of what the setup for the second sanctuary skip entails causes that trip. But that's all the details I really know. It's an interesting glitch that loses 2 seconds for no
Yeah,
reason.
Deltarune.
Yup.
Right. Right here, gonna go into what seems like a cutscene, but you can actually change how fast this goes. You're gonna basically climb on top of Jackenstein to go up this glass sort of thing, and if you time your up presses to be right after each like grab, you can speed this up a lot.
Yeah.
You can like literally go twice as
And
fast. Even here.
so, yeah, there's a cutscene coming up right here where Jackenstein is thankfully going to be saved from peril. And this is the biggest reason why we actually spared the Guays at the very beginning of the run. Partly because it's slightly faster, but also because the Guay is a Giga Chad and saves Jackenstein all on their
Yeah,
own.
it's so funny how that one tiny routing change just had such a big impact on the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right here, unfortunately, is a big auto-scroller room, and there's nothing I can do to speed this up, so I'll hand it over to you, Fletch.
Sounds great, thank you. Well, I'm happy to report on this $14.27 anonymous donation saying, I meant to put this toward the bid war and mess it up, but that's okay. I'll just donate again. Ralsei would want it anyway. And that puts Hug the Goat back in the lead at $27.27, just $3 above Save the Frames at $24.27.
So exciting.
So we are neck and neck. This goat is currently getting hugged, but that could change at the drop of a hat. And that means we only need 8 more donations to be at that clean 200.
Let's get there.
We seem to be unable to avoid the when you see it, but you know what, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we are also getting pretty close to that super real, super consequential milestone.
We have to get it, y'all.
We do have to get it. Like,
math is hard at this time of night, but it looks like we only need, what, about $32 to get there? Yeah, I think we can make that happen.
yeah.
I'm still a proponent of not hugging Ralsei, by the way. We gotta save those frames. We see hugging the Ralsei in every other marathon run. You gotta change it up this time.
That is true. That is true.
That's fair. It's been a long Archiethon. We can make it just that little bit shorter by saving the frames and not hugging
It's
the
true.
goat. Who wants to hug a goat anyway? They got weird eyes that are kind of like sideways and like, you know.
I don't know. Well, first we have to kill God.
Yeah.
So
As one does.
yeah.
Yeah, so gonna be a bit of a cutscene here as the Roaring Knight ore farms on us a bit more.
Yeah. Knight has a terminal case of aura farming. Just cannot stop doing it, and this is
Yo, same though.
This is what I aspire to be.
yeah.
And by the way, I should explain, we're currently playing on Japanese because when these like sections of dialogue where the text scrolls slowly, it scrolls much faster in Japanese because there's just less characters to scroll.
Very cool animation.
It's still so cool, even though I've seen it like a billion times already. It's just,
I know.
it hits so different.
Yeah. It's echoing the title screen. It's so cool.
Big hand.
So we got more climbing.
Yeah.
Yay.
These climbs are going to be a bit more
More-
involved than previous ones, though, because there's a lot of cycles to keep in mind.
Yeah, this first one in particular is quite long.
It's going to be the first of what we call the 2 Titan climbs. Again, I'm going to try to do...
Well,
Oh,
as we work our way
oh,
through
go
that,
ahead.
I can pass on this $10 donation from Aviary saying, Goats have pointy horns. I don't want Talia to poke herself on them. Stay safe and avoid pointy objects.
point.
That's $10 towards Save the Frames, which puts it back in the lead by, oh my gosh, $7.
A whole
You know, that's a good point. I don't really want to get or I guess Chris doesn't really want to get poked by the horns.
Yeah, that's true. No, choose Chris or Else.
When you put it like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to influence the outcome, there's no option except to donate at the link that is pinned in chat or by putting an exclamation point donate into that little text box.
Should be coming up to the end here. I got super owned, honestly, but we take those.
It happens.
These-
We must take a moment to shout out Trinky for routing pretty much every single climbing section in this game and putting so much time
Oh,
into
yeah.
it. Cannot let a marathon go by without shouting them out.
Mhm.
So
One of the other goats of this game, really.
for sure,
Is that goat getting hugged?
Maybe. We'll see.
I hope.
Alright, so remember the tension gem I picked up so long ago? Well, actually going to help a lot here. There's going to be another fight with the dark TP mechanic, but the tension gem immediately gives us 50 TP, which lets us, like, wow, lets us skip the majority of this fight pretty much.
It took a couple turns. We actually used to use the tension gem in Titan until we figured out that it's just faster.
Alright, gonna try to get Ralsei to die at the end here because it saves like 1 frame. There, let's go!
Dang. Well, can't hug, or I'll save. He's back alive. Thankfully, this chapter gives you a lot of heals, like during cutscenes. So
Alright, second Titan climb time. Not getting the cycle already.
About how much time do we have to? Was that the moment? Was that our?
Nope, that was
No.
not it.
Okay, okay.
There's gonna be an actual
have
hug later in the run. And it's gonna be near the end, we'll point it out when it happens, but it's gonna be after the final boss fight.
yeah.
Okay, good. And about, do you have a rough idea of how long that would be?
Let's say like
Less than 10
After
minutes,
about-
right?
Less than 10 minutes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
folks.
we're
You
good.
only have under 10 minutes to influence whether we're saving the frames or hugging that goat. Again, right now, Save the Frames is in the lead by precisely $7.
That's so close. Any donation is gonna flip it.
Alright. After this double climb, it comes the final boss of the chapter, the Titan boss fight. And this is easily the hardest part of this speedrun. I guess it's pretty close with the 11 Wormworths, but I think it's harder, personally. Alright. So, how the Titan fight normally works is that you get unleash phases, which after you unleash, you deal the full damage to the fight, where otherwise you deal like a fraction of the damage. That fraction is like a tenth of the damage you normally deal, but turns out that tenth of damage that you can deal in non-unleash phases matters a lot. If you keep attacking every single round of the fight, you can actually get like one less unleash phase at the end if you hit enough crits. So I'm going to try to really lock in here. Again, crits are frame perfect, each one of them. Yes. Also noteworthy is that this game runs at 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS. So when I say frame perfect, if you think about it in Celeste terms, it's pretty much like a 2-frame. It's like a bug drop. It's a bug drop, yeah.
No, crits are bugs. So one consequence of the shield mechanic here, doing a lot less damage, is crits on the shield parts of the fight are a lot don't matter as much because since your max damage is less, your miss damage is less. Way to describe it, but
I'm gonna try to get enough PP to unleash here.
dang.
Should be good. Nice. Alright, gonna lock in here. These are the crits that really matter. Nice. If missing one unleash crit can sometimes just lose you multiple turns because of how the fight works. Nice! All crits in this unleash phase.
So in any percent when you don't have the Justice X, you pretty much need every single crit. In this entire fight, there's only a handful of the shielded crits that you can use. In that particular category, it's a lot of frame perfects in a row, but with the Justice X, you get a little bit more leniency, which is one perk of doing all bosses.
Things are heating up in this bid war. Let me know when a good time is to read a few more donations.
Right now would be great.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have $10 from Cheesy Pie with no comment going towards Hug the Goat, but we have $6.99 from Cat Pongers, who's trying to save the frames and says, I think this is Sui, S-U-I-I-I. But also, we have $15 from Aviary saying, have we thought about the sanitary conditions? Is Rousey a hygienic goat? Does he use pet shampoo or human shampoo? These are questions that need answering, and until they are answered, we are not petting that goat.
You're bringing up a lot of good points.
With all of that activity, Save the Frames is now ahead by, oh my gosh, $19. And we are only 4 donations away from 200 total donations!
If I did everything right, the fight should end here. Let's go!
Bang. Let's go.
Beautifully done.
Oof, that one crit miss at the end really made me worried, but all good.
Yeah, it's alright.
Alright, now the fight is over. You only have a couple more minutes to get your donations in for that bid war.
All right, folks, last call. If we can get just 4 more donations in, we will have 200 total donations for the marathon. We've raised over $7,000. We can definitely get a few dollars more and figure out whether we are hugging this heckin' goat.
Alright. Favorite character, Garrison's gonna be making a comeback to deal with final blow to the Titan. Shout out Garrison.
Yeah. Even if you don't do the Gerson fight, this happens, and it's a little like, what the heck is going on? We get a little more context.
There we go.
Bang. Throwing Chris. Absolute
cinema. You know, what did Susie say there when she threw Chris into the Titan? No, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
I don't even remember.
Something about dunking, you know.
I haven't played this game.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that's a reference to.
Y'all, my heart cannot handle this. We have $20 from Cheesy Pie going towards hugging the goat. That means Hug the Goat is ahead by 99 cents. Sorry, more than that. By $1.01.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That was donation number 197. 3 to go till 200, and we are currently hugging
Not
that
a lot of
goat.
time left. Come
But we're
on.
running out of time.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Oh my gosh, $3 from Aviary. I don't have time to type a witty comment. Do not hug the goat. I repeat, do not hug that goat. That is going towards Save the Frames. That is now ahead by about $2.
All right, we're almost there. Come on.
It's coming. I can feel it.
Come on, folks. We need to hit that 200 donations.
It'll be right after this cutscene.
I am refreshing as fast as my mouse will allow me to. That means I'm scroll wheel unlocked refreshing. That's not true. I would probably crash the website. I'm not going to do that. But oh my gosh, we have $16.47 from Tom, but that is not going towards any side of the bid war and simply says, I pretend I do not see.
All right, Fletch.
That was donation 199. We exactly hit $7,277.27 when you see it.
What's the verdict? This is it.
Here we
All right,
are.
I'm going to do one last refresh to make sure there was no last-minute donation. All right, the outcome is we are hugging that goat.
Go.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, everyone, thank you so much. There is still room, though, to snipe that 200th donation, goat or no goat. Oh my gosh, it just came in, a $10 anonymous donation. That is 200 donations individually during Archiethon 666. Incredible, everyone.
Let's go, Archie.
Let's go. Yep. So I think every single marathon that has ever had an incentive to hug the goat has successfully hugged the goat. So that's cool. And across games, too.
Mm-hmm.
But this came pretty close.
Yeah, so right here, there's only going to be cutscenes left in the run until the end. So, yeah. I want to say my shoutouts real quick. Thank you so much, Archiethon, just in general, all the organizers and games committee. Thank you for taking me. Did not expect to be the finale, but it works. But it's been a lot of fun. Thank you all for your donations for Honor Pride. It's such a important cause these days. And yeah, that's about it for me. Jack, do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, I also just want to say thank you to Archiethon. This is like, as somebody who's not like super involved, relatively speaking, with like the Celeste community, this is like, you know, it's just so cool to see like everyone come together for this kind of thing for charity. And I think, you know, Celeste is one of like the coolest communities out there, and it was a really cool celebration of it.
Let's get some Celeste in the chat.
True. Yeah, shout out to the Deltarune Spearing Discord, Fast Little Boys. Another wonderful community. And yeah.
I'll call out when time is. Also want to mention, it's kind of wild to think about it. My first real marathon run was in Archiethon 1 so long ago, doing Deltarune Chapter 1, and so much has changed in those years, but Archiethon's always been there, doing such an amazing, just doing so many amazing things, really. Alright, so time is gonna end after this cutscene when I screen transition out of the screen. And time!
Dang.
Let's go.
GG.
Fantastic run, Talia. Everyone, this is it, the final run of Archiethon. Please give it up for Talia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, folks. This was a fantastic way to cap off Archiethon 666. Any final shout-outs you wanted to make that you didn't already get in?
I'm all good. Jack, do you have anything else?
No, not really, but honored to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, but don't go away quite yet. This may be the final run of Archiethon, but we do have a brief word coming in from the Archilings. That also means that I will be stepping away from the host mic after this wonderful finale. Thank you, everyone, for raising so much money for Point of Pride, a fantastic organization. Archiethon 666 goes to show what we can do when we bring each other together as a community. We can make a positive difference, and every single dollar that you all have donated has helped to do that. Thank you, folks. Long live Archie, and stay tuned for those words from the Archielings.